paper magic will survive like the heat death of the universe, and will...
Oh, it's a smuggler's copter. Would you like to crew this? And then it crashes because they don't understand arithmetic.
All your cards belong to me.
2 minutes into macing him in the eyeballs, I switched to pepper spray. He's like, yeah, it's all right, refreshing. And went back to the mace.
Magic is dying. I'm done. Selling everything.
I might be a hoarder. And yes,
I don't have the crayons or glue to explain this to you right now.
What, are you gonna die twice?
Oil will be worthless before magic cards will.
Well, okay, Dr. Man.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Jason.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a very special episode of Brainstorm Brewery. Look, I know we say every episode is very special, but the truth is they are. Every episode has something that makes it very special and unique.
Are you saying our episodes are snowflakes? Is that what you're saying?
That's not exactly where I was going with that, but if that's where you want to go with that, DJ, be my guest. It's, it's parts of a free country. Go for it.
Ooh, that's good.
Every episode is unique, individualized, serialized, if you will. Every episode of Brainstorm Brewery is serialized.
Well, listen, we have something to tease here. It's we have picked up a potential new sponsor. We're going to debut that later in the show. It's it was a surprise to us.
Ads? Is that what we're? You're teasing an ad.
Might as well
It's a
tell him
reveal.
what part to skip.
Are you telling me that Squatty Potty wasn't fun?
Squatty
Also,
Potty.
this ad is gonna rule.
Yeah,
this
like,
is
come
Squatty
on.
Potty tier for sure.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so stick around for that. But listen, we've got other
is
stuff to
ballin'.
talk. There was a regional championship. There is some more Lord of the Rings. There are expensive cards. There are magic bounties going up. We've got an MTGstocks Game. We've got everything coming to you this week.
Who's we? What are we all doing here on this Discord call?
We, in this case, would be me. I'm Corbin Hostler. I'm the main host of this podcast. I'm joined by my three co-hosts, DJ Johnson there, Jason Alt cracking the beer, and we've got Castellin as well. Welcome into the show, everybody.
I'm a guest host.
Huh?
I'm a secret host.
I'm a guest host. I'm not on this podcast anymore.
You're a guest host.
I
Cass
do this
is a
sometimes
secret
to help
host.
you guys out. Yeah.
I want to be a shadow host, like a dark host.
Oh my god, DJ is a shadow.
It's like Dark Lugia or Shadow Mewtwo. JJ can like dim the lights on my camera for the next like hour and a half or so.
I want to be a host like in the movie Alien, where I'm a host to a chest buster that's gonna come out of my chest.
Because
It's just in. Jason's into impreg.
Anyways, how about that? Welcome into the show, everybody. As you can see, we are off and running, the bull flowing, and we're going to talk about some. How about this? If you made an offer on a Magic card, and you say might have made millions of dollars in your career, and that offer within a week you had tripled it, you think the initial offer might have been too low for the one ring that Cassius Marsh put up on Twitter? $150,000 was the bounty.
It was the high bid. That's how bidding works.
It was panned.
There is
by
no such thing as a low
people.
ball. There is only a prior bid.
I hear you. It was universally panned by a lot of universally panned by that wording doesn't work. I saw multiple vendors panning that decision because even if you don't want to take it to auction like some people are saying, this is so lowballing that it's just ridiculous.
I'd rather sell it for 125 grand to Cassius March than that transphobe dude who was offering more. So I don't know, man.
I also don't think his offer
It's the experience, right? I want Post Malone to buy it off of me.
Cassius Marsh is now offering $500,000, by the way.
I am suspicious of all offers of this card until the card is actually open and money changes hands.
I would love it in a pack with a certificate of authenticity or something like that. If it's just in a pack hanging out, I'm like, oh yeah, that's definitely not counterfeit.
I almost wonder, is the actual card going to be in the pack, or is it going to be like a golden ticket situation? Because this has already been addressed, publicly about is there a safety risk of opening collector boosters in public? I actually have been making a joke with the manager of the store I've been working with. We have the same birthday, and it's on the release day of Lord of the Rings. We're going to open a collector booster together, and if the one rings in it, we get to fight to the death over it, and whoever wins gets to become Gollum.
Don't you think you would win? Didn't you say you could fight anybody in the MTG Finance community except the smallest guy?
Yeah.
Is that DJ?
Yeah.
I fully intend to be the Smeagol in this situation.
What do you think about I mean, look, some people have been very adamant about this needs to go to auction. Other people have been like, yeah, whatever. I'll sell it to Cassius Marsh. I'll take the money. I want the publicity. Other people are saying that they're going to just go throw it in an active volcano after they do $1 million Kickstarter for it. What is your... This is also dumb. I mean, this is almost as dumb speculation as all of the people making if you open the One Ring thread on Twitter, because you just know that somebody out there is going to open the One Ring and they're going to be clueless, except for that Twitter thread from the person with 600 followers that lays out what they should do with the One Ring.
I really hope it's a voucher in the booster.
That would make the most sense, actually.
Because,
but also be kind of a disappointing experience, right?
Yes.
No.
I don't know.
A golden ticket that says you won the 1 out of 1 ring, and now you don't have to, have it curled up in your pack. I don't know.
Well, listen, there's a curl up
they
in
want
pack
it
thing,
to They want it to be opened, right?
Right.
But they don't want it to be opened in the first... they don't want it to be opened right away.
Do they care?
Let's assume...
I don't know if they care.
Let's assume that WotC is a little bit competent for this conversation. I know it can be a stretch sometimes, but let's pretend. They almost certainly want it to be opened in the U.S. to ensure that they get publicity from it. Mm-hmm. They almost certainly want to ensure that it's opened in a major metropolitan area so that it's more likely to be a big deal.
Yep. That's why the question was, we talked about this on the cast before, how truly random is this? Is this getting shipped off to random small country? I'm not going to name a country.
This is a company that found a bunch of boxes of the dark in a warehouse they forgot about for 30 years. So
it wasn't the dark. It was worse than that.
It was Legends, which is so much
Legends.
worse.
That's right. That's what set Moss Monsters from.
I opened
Moss Monster was the card I opened.
Well, you know what? That promotion worked because I bought a case of that, or 2K. I don't remember how many. I bought 6 of them and opened until I got to my Legends card. And it was some red. I don't know. It was worth $3. That was the end of me opening those boxes.
We were talking about this behind the booth at Dallas this weekend, but just imagine how mad the Magic community will be if the statistical likelihood, it's a pretty decent odds that Star City opens this, right?
No, it's not.
Why not?
Because they won't send it to Star City.
No, listen, man.
Star City also has a high. Okay, good.
I believe that Star City opens a lot of product. Do I believe that Star City opens 1% of the product in the world? I don't know. No. Do they open 10% of the product in the world?
No.
They don't. 5%
I'm not
of the
saying
product?
they have.
They don't have good odds, but they have the best odds.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just odds. So it's still, to me.
Also,
I guess not. When we say what are the odds of Star City opening it, it's basically just as random as anyone
1,000 times
else.
better than the odds of someone who,
sure,
busts less product.
Also, let's put yourselves in the shoes of a Star City Games warehouse employee and warehouse manager on the box opening day. If you're the employee and you open the One Ring, I don't care if I damage it. I'm stuffing it in my pocket. Fuck it.
I'm not going to fucking work the next day. They'll have to figure it out when they see me on Twitter.
That's the average person's belief on that, right? And as the manager, what do? Do you just set up a security camera watching every person opening's hands?
No, you make them do it in their underwear like a Coke dealer would.
No, it's literally the freaking Charlie and the Chocolate Factory scene. Yeah,
you're right. Actually,
it's
they opened the number 1 Ragavan, and the person who opened it did not know what Magic the Gathering was. So there are a decent number of hourly employees at most large local game stores and in this industry who just this is their job, not their hobby.
But
sure. But listen,
when there's a card that's $500,000, it's there's going to be a CNN article, CNN video about this.
Oh, for
right?
sure. Yeah.
But there's no way this isn't going to make it into the average zeitgeist.
Yeah.
Is Wizards doing this is what we don't know, and I don't believe that the terms of this are out there.
We're
is
speculating
Wizards seeding this into product that's going to a non-big box store? Is this going to end up on Amazon? There's just so many questions. It's so what are the odds? We're talking about, we've got Twitter threads. What if you open the One Ring? What if no one opens the ring or no one finds the ring and this promotion disappears down the drain because it got opened in BFE and whatever, right? It's sitting in a pack in a store in Backtown, Iowa.
I think that it is getting randomly sent somewhere specific.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. It's all speculation. But it matters for something so expensive and
like imagine some 8-year-old buying one pack at the Walmart checkout.
One $30 collector booster, but
they're like 40 at Walmart or something insane.
Fine, one 8-year-old shoplifting a collector booster.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just the point is, I feel like there's a real legal aspect to this that Wizards would have had to consider, which makes it a really interesting promotion all around.
We're speculating a lot for a long time. This is like a quarter of the podcast.
Hey, this is kind of fun. I'm not going to lie. This is one of the more interesting
Speaking
things.
of auctions, I got to win an auction right now, so...
Let's move on to another expensive. This is not just unique to Magic. Cass, do you want to elaborate on some of the expensive things we've been seeing going down in other games?
Yeah, so the most expensive Pokemon card ever sold closed for $375K. And it was the Illustrator Pikachu. And that was like in 2021. I think there's been a higher sale since, but like not by much. Mm-hmm. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Just had Tyler the something card that was a Make-A-Wish Foundation thing where a kid asked to have a Yu-Gi-Oh! Card made in his image. And he kind of looked like Goku on the card. That recently sold at auction for like $311K, I think.
Was it a Make-A-Wish thing right before he had to go fight Raditz or something?
I don't know.
Like, look, his power level's over 9,000. This guy's gonna put me in a crater.
That's not how that. Oh, that's
I'm just an 8-year-old kid.
You just ruined the right. Oh, you just.
What? I just ruined what, Corbin?
Everything you said was wrong.
Because Raditz is his friend. I don't get.
No.
I'm so confused.
Me too.
Corbin's being. Oh.
I'm just the only person who's ever actually watched Dragon Ball Z here. All right.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z sucks. You're a weeb.
Yeah, it's mid.
Okay. Of course it's mid, but I was 12. Like,
that's true. It was pretty awesome when I was 12.
Thank you.
But I barely had object permanence at 12, so like I don't remember any of these characters. I know Goku and Vegeta's wife with a big dumpy.
I also know that everyone with a Vegeta profile picture on Twitter is about to give you the worst take you've ever heard. It's almost as reliable as blue checks.
Vegeta in a
they made a sex robot on that show.
No. Vegeta in a Ford F-150 with the sunglasses making a Facebook video. Got the vaccine.
Capsule Corporation is just trying to put tracking devices in you.
Vegeta definitely is a MAGA Republican.
Do you like how I pretended not to know anything about Dragon Ball Z and then I rattled off Capsule Corporation? You guys like
you're so cool.
I just like whatever. Fuck you, Corbin.
I don't watch anime. I've had sex before.
Let's move on though. So the point is, Magic's getting in on this, but it's far from the only. We've always, and this isn't a Black Lotus that's on a reserve list. It was made 25 years ago. It just happens to be really expensive now. This is a very much like this is the biggest promotion in this vein that they have ever done. Maybe will ever do. So there's a lot riding on it, I feel like. Especially if you're the person who pitched this at Wizards of the Coast.
Did I win this or not?
I will say it's pretty thematic that the One Ring, if you open it, it gives you great power, money. But it's also a massive burden.
True.
Something lottery winner's suicide statistic.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, people keep talking about how, the ring tempts you mechanic isn't flavorful because it's all upside. Like, the thing about the ring that gets you isn't necessarily the fact that it makes you powerful. It's the fact that everyone wants to kill you for it.
Yeah, it's like the #1 headband in Afro Samurai that Corbin told me about because he's a weeb.
That tracks.
Yeah, I think, like, it's very thematic they made a promotion that gives someone a burden in exchange for a lot of money. If I got it, I would literally just hit up the person with the highest offer and accept it immediately and not think about it twice. Because the difference between 500K and like 700K is not that demonstrably different to changing my life. Like 500K is a life-changing amount of money. 700K is also that. The difference between 500 and 700K is not demonstrably different in how much it changes my life. Like they both change my life a ton. And if you just like don't take the 500K offer and you wait 6 months and like the Cassie has nothing to gain from it 6 months from now. It's all about the hype now. That offer might not exist, and you might not get 700. You might get 300, and like,
or they'll announce the next, one of one.
This is save the next 10% to the next guy, just on a larger scale.
Right. Just get the money.
I really hope this is a one-off thing for LTR and not a trend.
I mean, that's shareholder culture. They have to do something bigger next time to make the number go up.
I really wish we had a different CEO of WotC, I'll tell you.
I don't know if that would change anything for what it's worth.
It's just a corporate America thing. The shareholder number has to go up always because the machine's never fed.
You all see what Twitch put out today? Like, come on, it's everywhere.
What did Twitch put out today, Corbin?
Twitch put out, they walked it back later. However, they announced this morning that ads could not cover more than 3% of a streamer's screen. So our ad, for instance, on Todd Anderson's stream would have to exist in a tiny corner, and it was among several rule changes that were basically going to destroy all advertising on broadcasts on Twitch.
People watch Twitch on mobile. Like that thing would be a couple of pixels on mobile.
Yeah, well, and imagine you're any esports league in the world that needs a sponsor. You're not allowed to run a full screen graphic for them anymore. Now it was walked back by Twitch, and they claim it was a misunderstanding. But this only happened after a bunch of people were like, "We are legit leaving Twitch. It decimates my revenue."
Well, speaking of decimated revenue, Reddit has decided or the Reddit subreddits have decided to protest we're going to charge $20 million a month for Apollo for the API access and that kind of shit. They're just going to destroy all the third-party Reddit apps. All the subreddits are going dark the first 3 days of Lord of the Rings set review season. So, speaking of decimated revenue, that's going to be pretty bad too.
That's true. That's like got downstream effects on WotC, perhaps. Wouldn't be surprised. Anyway, the point is there's a lot going on. This is what happens in the current state of the economy and the interest rates and all of the above. I'll tell you from my experiences on both in Magic and everyone across the esports industry in general. It's just a brutal time right now. All right, well, I'll tell you where it's not brutal, and that's when you are on MTGstocks, because that is the best place across the internet for Magic financial information, news, updates. The premium side gives you all the information, stat tracking, and notifications you could possibly want. It is what we use for all of our breaking bulks and pick of the weeks here on the podcast. And honestly, it's just the best in the business. That's why we are happy to sponsor them.
First of all,
sponsored
it's picks
by them.
of the week, not pick of the weeks.
Okay, I knew.
Second of all, I've been writing there for like 6 weeks, and you haven't mentioned that once.
I have, as a matter of fact.
Breaking bulk time. Breaking bulk time. Break.
Oh, yeah, breaking bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking bulk. The end.
Let's break some fucking bulk, boys.
All right.
Bulk break,
you
boys.
heard it. Cass is ready to go. Cass, you've got the honors then. First up.
Let's shred some bulk. BSB
break
bulk
of the
shred,
bulk.
boys. And
Bulk
Cass.
spread, boys! I have a Dominaria United Commander white card.
Oh,
Dominaria United Commander.
Ogden. Archivist of Ogden.
Nope.
Ogden.
That was
That's Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate. You're talking the red, green, white landfall deck?
I found this card using MTGstocks.
Is it a reprint or is it original?
It is original.
F6.
What?
I could see it early.
He says F6 because he doesn't know the commander cards, and I'm kind of with him. Jason,
I have
you got
the
anything?
deck. I just don't remember if they're...
Do you yield your time, sir?
Yeah, I'm done. I don't know.
Yield my time to the floor.
It's Historian's Boon.
Yes.
Oh, no, wait.
Look.
But that wasn't from Dominaria... Oh, was it?
Dominaria United Commander, rare number 21. It has that printing and an extended art printing, and that's it.
What is
it?
Historian?
Like it says Saga on it, and Tom Bombadil is the #1 deck on EDH Rec from that set right now. It's not close. Honestly, I wrote an article about how Cliff wrote a good article about it. So go read my article to find the link to Cliff's article. He called Historian's Boon, but he also called Thrall Parasite and what's the other Parasite? The new Phyrexia Parasite.
Hex Parasite.
Yeah, Hex Parasite. Yeah, he called a lot of that stuff. And if you'll look in my article, some of that stuff's starting to move. So Historian's Boon was cheaper on Card Kingdom than on TCG Player when I checked it. And I was like, that's definitely sold out on Card Kingdom. So yeah, this is a great bulk pick.
copies of this card are starting to dry up around the $3 mark on TCG. Like, the supply under $3 is thin.
It's gone, yeah.
Buy lists aren't backing it yet, but, who's to say?
When you complete a saga, you make a 4/4. It's fairly nutty value.
Yeah.
All right, Jason, what are you looking at this week?
I'm looking at a green card, which is uncommon all 3 times it was printed. The first one is Commander 2019, and the last one is Jumpstart 2022. A green uncommon from Commander 2019. I'll tell you the middle one, AFR Commander. So Commander 2019, AFR Commander, and Jumpstart 2022.
Druid of Purification.
And I'll even tell you Radagast is the reason people are interested about this card.
Druid of Purification.
Not even close. It's not a creature. Let's speed this up. You're not going to get it.
Is it a sorcery?
It is an enchantment.
I'm out.
Green uncommon enchantments cost 2 colorless mana and 1 green.
I felt good about my guess. So
is this Curse of something?
No.
Ask the Roku, DJ.
F6.
F2.
Colossal Majesty is an M19 uncommon that says at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. Seems great to draw a card every turn in the Radagast deck.
That's cool.
In my head,
I thought
C19...
Radagast was a dog's name.
Good point, Jason. Good point.
In my head, C19 was Commander 2019, not Forces 2019. I realize now, like, that's the code for it in most places, but
yeah, my head was at Commander 2019 too.
I said Commander. It's got 4 printings: Core Set 2019, Commander 2019.
Wow.
AFR Jumpstart.
Oh my
Whoops.
gosh.
Don't blame me. Blame Card Kingdom's confusing interface. Card Kingdom, you win again.
That's who I'm going to blame them. All right.
Don't blame Card Kingdom.
Wait, Corbin,
listen.
Corbin,
go ahead,
before
DJ.
you
Go ahead, DJ.
I want to let you know, because mine's not going to get guessed either way. We know that. So it's up to you to land the BSB no-hitter.
I see.
No one's have been guessed yet.
Well, I'll tell you
this. This doesn't make us look good at making people guess. It makes us look bad at guessing.
No, there's there's several things to unpack. Big sigh. First of all, I think it makes us look better to fool the experts than to not get it. Okay, so I think that's fine. However,
my card was a
DJ
with 4
DJ
That's
DJ
a legit card.
You do not. There is one rule about no hitters, man, and it's similar to Fight Club.
You don't mention the no hitter before it happens.
Baseball has too many unwritten rules.
It's written.
The game's like 120 years old, man. That's why.
It's written. It's written
down
everywhere.
The game is older than
Google
written speech.
Do you
if you're
talk
at a
about
baseball game?
You know what, man?
Listen, it's the 7th inning, and you mention a no-hitter, they will kick your ass and throw you out of the stadium.
I'm going to ChatGPT.
That's like not even a joke. Like, people take that serious.
I'm going to ChatGPT.
I don't even like baseball, and I know that. I've watched a lot of secret-based documentaries about baseball, so. The Seattle Seahawks.
You talk about a no-hitter before it's complete.
If you like video essays, the secret base video about the Seattle Seahawks is it's 8 hours across 4
It's important to note that superstition and baseball traditions often discourage discussing a no-hitter while it's in progress. This is sometimes referred to as the unwritten rule, where people believe talking about a no-hitter can jinx it. DJ is going to talk about no-hitters, which is just not how you want to do it. But you know what? I'm not going to deviate and go with something that might be harder to guess. I'm going to continue with what I had lined up because I have a theme for all of my card picks tonight. And that theme is that they're from a new set, March of the Machine. I did it in person.
Oh, is that the theme you've been doing for 7 years?
Oh, what? Oh, of stuff being new? No.
Listen, I bet the number of times you've picked a card older than 6 months on Breaking Bulk in the last, as long as we've been doing it, has been under 10 times.
We have historicals. We can call it. We can figure that out.
I don't think that it's quite that extreme, Jason, but...
We have 500 episodes of this show.
Yeah, but he hasn't been on half of them.
That's valid.
That's super fair.
The 2019 Corbin blackout was real.
Whichever fan finds the information so that we can dunk on Jason or on Corbin gets a shout out in the next week's cast.
I mean, if the number's 30, that's still fucked up. You can dunk on me a little, but you're still gonna dunk on Corbin way more.
But if it's like
30,
if it's like 70 though, you get to dunk on you, right?
We've buried the lead here.
Listen, I'm undunked. Listen, there will be no dunking. You all are all lost in the sauce. You need to stop with the metaphors and the analogies and the similes. Okay, no emojis. Let it go.
You're can't dunk on Corbin if he takes the ball from you.
Who are you, Blake Griffin? Getting the ball taken from me?
I wish I was Blake Griffin. Then I could get fucking booked on a comedy show in Detroit.
All right, here we go. It's a white uncommon for March of the Machine.
Surge of Salvation.
It is Surge of Salvation.
That's
like the good uncommon from the set. That's like the card. I'm playing that card in Legacy.
DJ didn't know it, and Jason didn't.
I bet your pick of the week is Metamorphic Alteration.
I was not going to get it by name, but I was going to say the White Instant with Elspeth on it.
DJ, you mentioned a no-hitter, and seriously, Corbin was trying to throw Cass out, and she fucking smacked that out of the park. Oh, it's your fault.
The card was like $3 on pre-sale. It's like $1.50, right?
Yeah, it's a good card.
Yeah, it's a good card. That's why it's not bulked, stupid. Jesus
I'm Corbin. I can stop everybody.
Jason didn't know it was bulk. Or wasn't bulk. Yeah, the point is...
I didn't have time to guess, man.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I got it in 2 seconds.
DJ claimed that his wasn't going to be guessed. DJ, what is it?
Urza's Saga Blue Uncommon.
That's the gear.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the one with the gear on it.
Is it a creature?
Yeah.
No.
In case you were curious.
That's
what I know.
Energy
Turnabout.
Flux? I guess that's from Antiquities.
Is it Turnabout?
No.
Is it an enchantment?
Turnabout's Saga.
It's the
Turnabout is Saga.
Aura?
Okay, but it's not Turnabout.
Is it an aura?
No.
Opposition.
No. Stern Proctor. I'm just going to guess all the uncommons in blue I know
Stern
at this
Proctor's
point.
a good guess.
No.
Is it a wizard?
No.
Oh, you said it's not a creature. Shoot.
Did you tell me Opposition is a white card?
No, I said
it's rare.
It's
Opposition's a blue rare from Urza's Destiny, bro.
I told Corbin it was way off.
Confused. Okay. Way off, I hear you.
Is it Paragon?
I was just buying time for everyone else.
Or the Untapper Drake?
Did he say it's not a creature?
That's right, he did. I keep guessing creatures, though, because creatures from that set
Disrupt.
No.
Disrupt's common. Wow, I would have sworn it was Turnabout.
Yeah, I got nothing.
This is a card that is incredibly overpowered in EDH and miserable to play against.
You're going to... Oh.
Stasis.
No, it can't be. Mana Breach is a blue uncommon from that era, but that was Exodus.
That's from Nimbus.
Exodus. Mana Breach was Exodus, bro.
Time's up.
Let's do this.
If you're going to stump me on a blue Urza Saga uncommon, I'm going to feel real bad. Go ahead.
Telepathy.
I thought that was common. Yeah, each player plays with their hands revealed.
Each of your opponents, not each player.
Yeah,
each opponent. It is one-sided in the worst way.
In my head,
it's unreal I didn't get that one. I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, that's like that's a really interesting breaking bulk, because that was a breaking bulk 10 years ago, and then not a breaking bulk for a long time.
Yep. I think Jason picked this a while back, and I had to make sure it wasn't super recent when I picked it. But this is a very miserable card to play against in Commander, because it will make everybody hate you.
Honestly, it's a miserable card to play against was a better hint than blue uncommon non-creature from Urza Saga.
That was a pretty
that was a giveaway. I should have taken that.
Yeah, it's been printed a few times, like Cass says. I remember when this was put in M10, and I played it in a very casual deck.
10?
But Urza's was the original printing, and it is still worth around $1 because people will still pick this up, play it, and then they will learn a lesson that it doesn't make everyone fight each other. Eventually, when you play this enough times, it will make everyone try to kill you because you are now the unknown factor.
They just want to murder you to see what's in your hand. Sort of like in Euchre when your partner you. Nobody? All right.
No.
I don't know.
Is that like spades?
No. Euchre's a weird...
The like bridge?
No.
It's
kind of like partners contract.
Is it like hearts?
Drunk people play this at deer camp, so no, it's not a complicated game.
What's deer?
It's like Stump.
It's more like War than Stump.
I was at DreamHack over the weekend. There were 1,150 players in the tournament, and from what I could gather, 0 of them sold their cards to Deep. Is that about how it went?
No, I would say Friday was actually pretty busy, but there were a lot of instances of, do you have this card, and then me saying no, or somebody else behind the booth saying no. And
you want something very random. They want something very random for you for their Pioneer sideboard.
Yes. So I think there's a lot of player expectation that vendors are there to support. I think there's a lot of, there's that, but I think that players have a misconception that vendors can make a lot of money at these events by selling these kinds of cards.
Yeah.
Like,
and so they spend time anticipating the fucking random sideboard uncommon you're gonna need.
Right. It's like, oh man, if this vendor is probably gonna bring a stack of Heartless Acts, and then they'll be able to sell them for $1.50 or $2 a piece, then make so much money.
Percentages.
But there's a very real logistics side of this industry behind the curtain. And one of those is that every card takes up the same metaphysical space behind the booth. So one Heartless Act is equal to one Hallowed Fountain, one Underground Sea, one Black... Like, those all take up the same metaphysical space, unless you count like weird top-loaded situations or penny sleeves. But like, there's no way, even if we bring, let's say, 20 or 30 Heartless Acts and we make $20 a piece on them, that money is so much better spent on 20
one
or 30
foil snap.
20 or 30 unique foil cards with a much wider variety and spread. Like, let's just say one of a very foil card from Odyssey that is $10 or higher. And if somebody trades into one of those cards at the show, we make $35 in that transaction, as opposed to that giant stack of $1 uncommons that this theoretical player thought we were supposed to
That'll
bring.
take all day to sell to make $20 worth.
Yes. And so the number of those uncommons is so wide. It doesn't even have to be an uncommon. I mean, we got asked for like just random rares, and Void Shatter was the weirdest one from the weekend. Do you have Void Shatter?
Because it's colorless? Is that what I'm talking about?
It is a colorless Dissipate. I don't know why they wanted it. I didn't ask. But
can't Pyroblast it, bro.
Non-blue spell. Well, it was Pioneer. The non-blue spell.
So you definitely can't Pyroblast it in Pioneer. For lots of reasons.
That was the fucking joke.
So
no, I was just thinking about it in general. I'm literally trying to figure out where they might have played that card.
I understand your gears are turning, but I'm going to keep talking.
I don't like getting that was the joke.
So
that wasn't for you. That was for
DJ.
Corbin.
That's Urza's Saga. No, you got, because I was like actually thinking about Magic. And
I
was
took
like,
splash damage.
well, you said Pyroblast, and I was like, I wonder if there's any cards that care about blue cards specifically.
I mean, there's
Ghostfire.
Like, change the equation which cares about red and green cards, so I assume that there is a card that cares about blue and black cards in that cycle.
Yeah, there's got to be something that...
I mean,
anyway, go ahead.
March of the Machine, right?
Anyway. I don't... So, I think one of the reasons that players have this expectation is because vendors did operate very differently in the years before the pandemic, up until the pandemic. I think there were more vendors that did bring those kinds of cards, partially as a service to the players, but also just because those vendors either weren't experienced enough to understand that that was a bad idea financially, or just because they thought that they could make a lot more money on these cards by upcharging. And then even if you do sometimes bring these kinds of cards and charge what you need to become profitable, then you get that backlash too, right?
Yeah.
You get the Reddit post of this vendor is selling this $1 card for $4 at the booth. And that's not why it's priced that way either. So I just wanted to have a short little discussion on player culture and expectation when it comes to card acquisition at the event, which is a very, very long way to say I think that you
stop asking me for bullshit.
Buy your cards in advance, and I would recommend even just making orders that might be larger and not include cards that you're going to play in your deck, but just cards that you might play in your deck. Just get those play sets of commons and uncommons.
That's people discovering tech the night before and going, we have 4 people who want to play this deck and we have 3 copies of this uncommon.
Right.
I get that. So, you know who used to have all that? Us.
You?
We used to tell people, put that in your binder, put your play set of Rolling Trembler and Pillar of Fire. Someone's going to want that, and you're going to get like a decent rare for 4 10-cent commons.
Yep.
Like, that was the advice we used to give people, but now that, like, binder grinding is dead, you took out all the people that would haul poop to an event like that.
Yeah.
By, like, getting your phone out to make sure you didn't pay 50 cents on 40 cents worth of Pillar of Fire that you needed to play the event. So like
Here's
was a thing, and it wasn't the vendors doing it. It was the us's of the well, the pre behind a booth us's of the world, and that's not a thing anymore. So your void shatters aren't a thing either.
This reminds me of an anecdote a while back. I was sitting in a bar the night before an event with some buddies, and the guys the table over, one of the guys is like freaking out trying to figure out how to fit a Courser of Crew Fix into his Jun 75. One of my friends leans over to me and says, if that's what he's worried about, that guy's got a lot bigger problems. Personally, I lock in my 75 the Tuesday before the event at minimum. I don't think about my deck after that point. There was a good quote I saw on Twitter this week about, like, you spent the last 3 weeks practicing. The last thing you want to do before you, like, the day before the event is practice more. Like,
Yeah.
You're just going to mess yourself up, right? Like, you already did the practice, now it's time to do the playing.
Yep.
So last minute tech, trying to buy a Heartless Act because you're afraid you're going to lose to X card. Just play your deck. You did the work already.
Well, and that's the people that don't do 2/3 of their games post sideboard.
It's also
Like
people
they
who
do
show up
all
with
their
no
playtesting
practice.
pre-sideboard.
Yeah.
I think there's other variables at play. I think some of these people could be like arena or moto grinders who only own their deck in that medium and then are like, oh, I'll just put the paper version together when I get there.
Or they're people like, hey, I need 4 copies of Metamorphic Alteration, and DJ goes,
Get fucked, that's a bulk rare.
Yeah.
Well, that is the other thing to talk about from that event. There was a lot. You can go check out all the coverage that on magic.gg that Frank, Carson, and I did from the regional championships over the weekend. But there was a lot going on. The coolest deck, and it didn't top 8 or anything, but is I believe, not Chancellor of the Dross, but Archfiend, I think, of the Dross.
Archfiend of the Dross,
Of the Dross, he has the card. And then Metamorphic Alteration. So it's the 6/6 from Phyrexia All will be one with oil counters. And it's got words, but the important thing is when it has 0 oil counters, you lose the game. And then Metamorphic Alteration is a 2-mana blue enchantment that turns a creature into a copy of another creature. So you turn their creature into a copy of your Chancellor of the Dross, which happens to be a 4-mana 6/6 flyer, a la Inverter of Truth. And then you can win the game.
It's kind of like Abyssal Persecutor, right? Where like that card was a liability, but it was a beat stick. But now it's just like, oh no, it's just a combo piece.
Well, it's the Inverter of Truth genre of card. And Inverter of Truth was an incredibly powerful card in Pioneer for the fact that it set up your Labman combo, well, whatever, Thassa's Oracle combo, but also would just sometimes won as an attacker. It's in that vein.
This is almost just Demonic Pact plus Harmless Offering, but like on a good enough rate that it's playable.
Yeah.
It's
cool.
it's what was that deck? Tricks or
back in the day, it was Tricks.
What
it was
cereal
Donate
was
Illusions.
Donate Illusions of Grandeur.
It was Tricks, I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was also like Rona combo. There were 6 different decks in the top 8. The most popular deck of the tournament going in was Rakdos Midrange. There were 0 Rakdos Midrange decks in the top 8. So I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity. Like the Pro Tour Lord of the Rings is modern, but this our season that we're in right now is Pioneer. But Pioneer's got a lot of room to go, I think, and in terms of the decks keep evolving. There's going to continue to be financial opportunity in that format for the foreseeable future.
Here's what I want to bring new players to competitive Magic. We know that Lord of the Rings is going to bring players to casual Magic. To bring these new players to competitive Magic, Lord of the Rings block constructed. Only cards from the precons in the set.
Block constructed. What a format.
I would play
rather
for
get Tetanus.
Gandalf of the whatever the blue one. Gandalf
Friend of the Shire?
Constructed.
The one that when you play your second spell each turn, or the ring tempts you and you can make somebody other than him the ring bearer and you draw a card.
Yeah.
Speaking of cards from this set that are going to be important for competitive, I don't know if y'all touched on it last week, but the card Orcish Bowmasters is the real deal like 3 times over.
Yes. So I read that card and then I read it 2 more times and my jaw just dropped.
I felt the same way about Mirkwood Bats. What a fuck up. That's going to ruin EDH.
Oh my god. Get out of here.
It's so
Dana.
annoying.
Get out of here.
It's worse than Sir Conrad. Up your butt,
Oh my god,
Corbin.
no one cares.
You're talking about a fucking tournament with 1,000 people at it, and you said no one cares about EDH.
I said no one cares about Mirkwood Bats, bro.
Mirkwood Bats will probably be in 0 CEDH decks ever,
Like,
so it's
are
like
you
not going to break the
kidding me?
format.
CEDH. That's not a real format.
But it's not going to break the format.
It's a format.
It's gonna be annoying.
dork.
There are a
It's
million
gonna
annoying
be
cards in Commander.
annoying.
I
That's
know,
what
and this
Zero's
is another
for.
one.
Like when you log on to Moto to try and join your lobby game in the casual room, it's going to say like no land death, no counter spells, no Mirkwood Bats.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying, man. I feel like Mirkwood Bats is so far down the list of egregious Commander cards in 2023 that it's interesting that people got mad about it.
I mean, it is the latest offender in a series of offenses, right? Like it's just more of the same badge.
It just costs 4 mana. It's so much.
It's walking into a bar with bootlegger's stash, and they're just sitting there reminiscing about how they were going to get banned day one.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say it was going to get banned. I said it's going to be f***ing annoying to play against. You know what? I'm right, and you know it.
It's going to be... There might not be a single card in Magic that has more... Oh, I missed that trigger. Like three turns down the line. Can I do that now?
Seriously, than Mirkwood Bats? Very possible.
I bring a fly swatter for that. I just smack their hands.
A little cat spritzer.
Yeah, spray bottle.
No!
All right, well,
At
next
this
up...
REL, a mistrigger is a game rule violation, and you actually are out of the pod.
All right, next up, we teased it at the top of the show, and now we're going to toss to a very special video announcing our new sponsor. Brainstorm Brewery is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for the family jewels. The Performance Package is the ultimate hygiene bundle. Join over 8 million people worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer. We have 20% and free worldwide shipping if you use the code BSB. You'll get the Performance Package 4.0. It's really a game changer. Inside the package, you'll find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the Crop Preserver and Crop Reviver, as well as a gift of Performance Boxer Briefs and a travel bag. This is everything you need if you are traveling and want to take care of yourself just a little bit better than maybe you have in the past. Manscaped has all of the tools for you. Join over 8 million people worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer. We have 20% and free worldwide shipping if you use the code BSB.
Wow, that was a great video, presumably. We don't know. We haven't recorded it yet. We're here in real time with you. We don't know if it was a good vid. Hope
it was
so.
a great video, Jason. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And look, we're excited to announce the sponsorship. Please go check it out. Use that gift code BSB.
No, but like, you remember with Squatty Potty when we're like, we need to sell a certain number of shit stools to be like real.
Yes.
We need to sell a certain number of ball raisers. So please help us by buying something you probably need.
It's sure. All right.
It's a win all around.
Moving on before we get out of here.
Shave your ass crack so that when that guy takes a picture with it, you'll be baby smooth.
I have a very special MTGstocks game for you all because, as we all know, MTGstocks is an incredible sponsor, but it's also where we go to troll the depths of all the sets in Magic, or in my case,
what else do we do on MTGstocks, Corbin?
Well, I read articles on there. That's what I do on there, and sometimes those articles are written by Jason Alt.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that, Corbin. People can go to mtgstocks.com and read my articles as well as some other fantastic finance articles.
All right, so here we go. I've got an MTGstocks game ready for you all. So if you're not familiar, this is where I give a cycle of cards to these three and see if they can place them in the order from most to least expensive. So this week, continuing with theme, March of the Machine cards. And if you can't guess, it's Praetors. This is like our fourth cycle of the same Praetors, but these are the ones...
Are these the ones that are just named?
Just the named,
cards, yeah.
And they all have a flip side to them. So the 5 Praetors, Urabrask, Riot, Elish Norn, Vorinclex, Shieldred, Jing-Attack.
So white, black, blue, green, red.
White, black.
That's my guess.
I think black might be more than white. I know it's higher on buy lists.
This is one of the ones where Urabrask isn't trash, Jason.
Oh, that's right. The Urabrask is like really good in this one.
Oh.
I still think it's third place behind white and black, but
is green trash?
Green is not. So I think blue is the cheapest.
So we think Jin-Gitaxias is the cheapest. Okay.
So my official guess that I'll make is black, white, red, green, blue. That's my guess.
Well, if that's right, I got 0 right.
I'm at white, red, black, green, blue.
Ooh.
All right. Sure. Dun, dun, dun. Drop the confetti from the ceiling for Cass. It was a perfect score.
Nice.
So I was 1 off. I had the top 2 switched. Is that it?
What did you say? It's Shieldred is $20 market price. Elish Norn is 14. Urabrask is 13. Vorinclex is 9.
Okay, I got 2 switched at the top.
Wow.
Yeah. So expensive Urabrask, very cheap. Jin-Gitaxias and Vorinclex shockingly cheap actually.
I was just rating them on their EDH playability, and I thought that would matter.
I did a lot of work with a game store that opened a lot of product of this set. We did a big release for it, and so the numbers for these cards are like burned into my brain.
Yeah. They're all extremely powerful.
Good.
They're all weird, but they're all very powerful.
You pay attention to card prices so the 3 of us don't have to.
I came up with I paid attention to this one for the game, and it was a great one because the blue one was the least expensive of the cycle.
I would like to see you play the game and have somebody else read it.
Cass had one a few weeks ago. We'll have to get there. Run it back, Jason. You are allowed. I will give you the privilege of coming up with your own MTG stock cycle to quiz us on.
As a guest host, we can give you that privilege.
Top 5 Jason E. Alt MTG stocks articles.
My favorite one is the one where he says that 70% rule.
Brainstorm Brewery preview cards, most to least expensive.
Ooh.
Oh, the most expensive is Razaketh, and the least expensive is Channeled Force.
We got Razaketh? That's
Jason
awesome.
Did specifically.
I got Razaketh. Our most expensive is probably Escape the Wilds.
Escape the Wilds is a messed up card.
Escape to the Wild is fit.
Escape to the Wilds or whatever. Yeah,
that was
because
the coolest video we ever did.
It was a
the
fun
talismans
video.
have been printed like 50 times.
Escape to the Wilds was the coolest video we ever did because Corbin had to leave a bucket of B-dubs out in the woods for an hour, and then it got ants on it when he tried to
And it got ants on it, and he still ate it. That's fucked up, man. Why would you eat it with ants on it?
Bro, those ants doo-dooed on your food.
Parts of that story are true.
Corbin ate the ant doo-doo?
Ants are just extra protein. If it's good enough for an anteater to be their entire source of protein, it's good enough for me.
It's true.
Corbin
the trick is to just sprinkle ant pheromones in a trail right to your mouth, and they'll just follow that trail.
Gotta stop.
I'll replace Corbin's ant pheromones with gunpowder. I'll light a fuse at the end of the trail of gunpowder, and it'll very slowly come up into his mouth, and it'll pop inside his mouth. His mouth will slam shut, and he'll explode.
Steam will come out of his ears, and he'll turn
black. Bugs Bunny?
Yeah, we're on some Acme. I'm playing a lot of Tears of the Kingdom. I'm on some Acme right now.
Oh yeah, you can build it all. Yeah, I haven't played that game. I don't know how many of you all are into it.
It's top 3 games of all time for me. The story is a nothing burger. Everything else about it's fantastic.
I'm playing gamer. Fallout 4 too much to relive 2018, the best year of my life.
As soon as I finish Tears of the Kingdom, I'm starting up Fire Emblem for the first time.
Yeah, Fire Emblem.
Which Fire, like Game Boy Advance Awakening. Fire Emblem?
Awakening, the one that DJ gave me.
It's Super Famicom.
We swapped games for like a little game exchange thing. I got Fire Emblem Awakening, and I gave DJ Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow.
Ooh, Dawn of Sorrow.
That game is so good. I'll let you know when I start Fire Emblem so we can start at the same time.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
Sick.
All the handheld Castlevania games rip.
Yeah, I mean, all the Castlevania games for the most part rip except for the 3D ones.
Castlevania 64 is fun to speedrun at least.
That's very fair.
I literally got so lost in that game I didn't want to look it up. I'm an hour in.
The Xbox 360 one was one of the worst games I've ever played. Most people have never made it past the tutorial. It was so bad.
My brother played
the one for the Sega Genesis was dire. That was so bad.
Sure.
My brother played through the 360 one. That's the one where you fight Satan naked at the end, right?
Correct.
That's Hades. Oh.
Yeah, the Genesis one is where you played basically Channing Tatum's character from the
Magic Mike,
the Kingsman movie.
Man, I keep getting it wrong. Shit.
Just some redneck with a whip. He's like, I used to play football and now kill vampires with my whip.
Speaking of video games, I was watching a stream of somebody playing the new Street Fighter 6 campaign mode. And one of the first, like, main characters you run into is Chun-Li. And they have just started making her comically thick. Like, they've given up the pretense of having her be a character who is not a sex object. And they're just like, you know what? Just put 2 full hams on each leg. They've just given up on doing anything but making her character up like a fucking porno shoot.
I gotta Google this now.
Street Fighter 6 Chun-Li. Every time I see a picture of her, I'm just like, I think I have COVID.
Her leg is like the size of her torso.
All right, before we get out of here this week, it is time for Pick of the Week.
Pick of the week, pick of the week, pick of the week. Time for the pick of the week.
The segment you've all been waiting for, and the segment where I get to continue the theme of this week's episode and choose another Breach the Multiverse card. And
Got him. Hey, Corbin, is your pick Breach the Multiverse?
JJ.
no, my pick is March
Keep
of
it
the
in.
Machine.
Just like this.
That's
My
good.
pick is March of the Machine.
That's good. Leave it. Ooh, that's
It's
a Corbin moment.
$2.30, and it's really broken. Just get it.
I listed a bunch of these for $2.50 to Card Kingdom a few weeks ago.
There you go. It was
cards-
$5. Yeah.
Yeah.
This
The new
is very good in
Saruman deck,
Standard.
where if you play your second spell, you get a card out of their graveyard with CMC less than the spell you cast. Playing a 7-mana spell that mills 10 is pretty significant.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also just really, like, as shown in Standard, it's just very powerful, and it does scale for Commander, too. So, yeah. I mean, it's just $2 right now. It's very cheap. It seems like a $5 card if it's going to be relevant in Standard for another 2.5 years.
You know
or
what seems
forever.
like a $5 card? A card that's historically been 15. That is Fable of Wolf and Owl, babies. Selling out everywhere because of Radagast decks. Just like my theme was Radagast shit. Colossal Mastery is a Radagast card. So is Fable of Wolf and Owl. It makes birds and it makes wolves, and birds are very important in Radagast decks. It's blue and green. You're going to get a ton of value. It's selling out. And also, historically, this has been very expensive because it's a 6-mana enchantment in a format where you can play shit like that. Fable of Wolf and Owl, way too cheap, under $4 right now.
I've seen a lot of
Makes
Radagast
sense.
shit, and it's usually not that appealing, but in this case, you might be right.
Well, there are 2 Radagast, aren't there? There's mono green Radagast, the brown, and then there's blue green Radagast, Wizard of Wilds.
Fable of Wolf and Owl also just is a card that has a lot of appeal for having cool tokens, being from a set that doesn't actually exist, plus a reprint.
Mm-hmm.
My Radagast is more of a mono black sort of angle, because he's blind.
Oh. My theme this week was cards that are good to make money on.
Oh, okay, that's a good theme too.
My pick of this week is Lotus Field. The deck had a great showing relatively at the RC. It's continuing to be the budget deck du jour, other than Mono White Humans, of Pioneer. Additionally, I've seen some rumblings from some players who have some deck building chops about playing Lotus Field with some Twiddle effects and the One Ring in Modern. Casting Twiddle on the One Ring, probably pretty good.
The One Ring, not the one ring.
Not the one of one ring, but the One Ring. Not the one of one ring, one
yeah.
time.
Not the 1/1 ring. Yeah.
The
But
ring,
also not the, like, 900 One Ring.
the ring formerly known as the One Ring.
Right. The card, the One Ring with collector number.
Well, what about
I'm pulling
the
it
elf?
out.
Is it the elf ring, the dwarf ring, or the human ring?
Well, it's not a soul
Well,
ring.
that's
It's
how
the
you
One
know they're
Ring.
going to keep. That's how you know they're going to do more than the. They didn't stop with the one of one ring. They were like, we also do 700 dwarves and 900 elves, and
There are 7 for dwarves, 3 for elves, and 9 for mortal men doomed to die, or whatever the thing is.
that's correct. Yeah.
That's dope as hell.
You should get a ring wraith if you play one of those.
Speaking of those cards, and speaking of card bounties, I really want a specific Dwarven Ring number, and I don't know how to go about asking people to get that for me without getting price gouge on it.
Is it 69?
No. It's 656. It's an angel number. It's like the number of the beast coming, and like you can't stop it. It's the number of inevitability.
Oh.
It's been my lucky number since I was a kid, because I learned that, and I thought that was cool.
That's cool. No,
That's rad.
Yeah.
all
Also
right,
the first
DJ, you
serialized
get
card.
last. Sorry.
It's the first serialized card to go that high for the numbers.
Oh, yeah, it's a good point. It's your first
nice.
chance to grab a 656. Good call.
Yeah, because they've only done up to 500 before.
Yeah.
Sweet.
All right.
All right, DJ, you got last picks. What are you looking at this week?
I am continuing my the cast's theme of Lord of the Rings cards, and mine is one that I'm surprised hasn't spiked yet because of how few printings it has. Ishkana Graph Widow is the Eldritch Moon Spider Lord. It is one of the first Spider Tribal Commander cards to ever exist, but it is coming in on the back of Shelob.
It's Shelob.
Child of whatever.
Sorry, I read the books.
This is gonna go into several Shelob decks because that one does spider things better than this does. It doesn't make any tokens by itself, but it just gives all your other spiders Death Touch and Ward 2, and you have plenty of other ways to make spider tokens. I don't think you pick Arachnogenesis. That card's very, very expensive already and could just be around the corner from a reprint.
Ishkana was, when I saw Shelob, my immediate first thought was Ishkana. And I'm not someone who thinks about Commander that much. And so imagine every other person who saw it and is like, I need Ishkana right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you should probably do is go to EDH Shrek, type in Ishkana, and see what people who are building that deck are playing. Because if they're going to build a Spider Tribal deck, there's probably some stuff they didn't think about, like Arasta. Arasta's sick. When they play an instant, you get a Spider. Like, yeah, maybe 1-for-1 it goes up, but like if you do miss the boat on that, if you go to see what people are, what kind of Spider Tribal decks people are already playing, there's probably a ton of picks there.
For sure. Like
the high synergy cards for Ishkana, it's bad cards like Rot Widow Pack, but it's also pretty good cards like I don't know, like Foil Nyx Weaver could be a thing. Foil Arasta, Foil Spider spawning.
I don't think Ishkana is the best thing you can be doing in that deck, but I do, like Cass said, it is the most obvious thing you can do in that deck, and it is a card that is a mythic rare that is reasonably low supply. It's got a list printing, but those don't really count.
Oh yeah, no, this goes up for sure. If you miss the boat, you should probably see what else is in the deck.
Yes.
Right.
Like, you probably make more money off of Veronis's Monument than you do off of anything else.
I mean, Ishkana is a mythic, though, so, like, it's got a big...
Oh, yeah. No, it's a good... I'm not saying it's a bad pick of the week. I'm saying, in addition, there's other stuff you'll probably find.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up for us this week. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to all of our patrons who go to patreon.com/be and support us. Thank you to everyone who helps check out our Magic sponsors, MTGstocks and Coalesce Apparel, and everyone who enjoyed. We're trying to have some fun with the new ads. So if you enjoyed it, and if you want to, as Jason said, take care of yourself and upgrade, you can go check out that Manscaped stuff as well. Everybody, thank you so much for listening to Brainstorm Brewery. We'll see you next week.
I'll be in Baltimore, Maryland.